Hello and welcome to Compliance Briefs. In this session, we will be focusing on client due diligence, with particular attention to the identification and verification of both natural persons and legal entities. In this compliance brief, we will cover 4 key areas related to client due diligence. First, we will look at the identification of natural persons, focusing on the essential information required to establish a client's identity. Then, we'll move on to verification, where we will discuss acceptable methods and documents used to confirm that identity. Next, we'll examine the identification and verification process for legal entities, including the unique challenges they present and the need to understand their ownership and control structures. Finally, we'll address the certified documentation requirements, outlining what constitutes a valid certification and the types of documents firms may use, in line with legal and regulatory obligations. The identity of a natural person includes its name, and all other names used, the date of birth and the address at which the person can be located. Additional information can be obtained, if judged necessary, like source, size of wealth, occupation, signature, etc., in accordance always with the personal data law. It is recommended that clients are met face-to-face. Where not possible, mitigating measures should be taken to reduce the AML and CFT risk involved. The identity and residential address of a natural person should be verified. This verification may involve a physical inspection of an original document or may be based on documents or information obtained from a reliable source, including through electronic means. While electronic identity verification is not automatically considered equivalent to a face-to-face meeting, firms may choose to use such methods. However, this is subject to conducting and documenting a comprehensive risk assessment addressing the risks of money laundering, terrorist financing, proliferation financing, and sanctions. Firms must also ensure that adequate safeguards are in place. ICPAC has published a series of FAQs covering various compliance topics, including client due diligence. Further guidance on electronic identity verification can be found in question 9 and 10 of the FAQ on CDD. Furthermore, you may refer to Annex 3 of ICPAC's AML directive for a non-exhaustive list of documents that can be used for verification purposes. When assessing legal entities, it is important to acknowledge the potential difficulties in identifying and verifying their legal existence. Firms should ensure that any individual acting on the entity's behalf, for instance, signatories or attorneys, is properly authorized and that their identity is verified. It is also essential to identify and understand the ownership and control structure, including the beneficial owners. All findings should be thoroughly documented, and the entity's purpose must be confirmed as legitimate and aligned with genuine trading or economic activities. The ICPAC AML Directive, in Annex 3, sets out a non-exhaustive list of documents that firms may obtain for the verification of legal entities. The type of document requested should be tailored to the specific information that requires verification. For instance, when verifying a company's name, registration number, and date of incorporation, an appropriate document would be a certified true copy of the statutory documents confirming those details. Such documents can also be obtained from the official website of the relevant registrar of companies. Similarly, when verifying the shareholders of a legal entity, a suitable document for a Cyprus company would be the Certificate of Shareholders, as issued by the Cyprus Registrar of Companies. Although each firm has the flexibility to determine which documents it will accept, this must be aligned with its operational needs and risk appetite, and always remain consistent with applicable legal and regulatory obligations. Now that we have covered the measures required for the identification and verification of both natural persons and legal entities, it is equally important to ensure that the verification documents obtained are appropriately certified. Proper certification provides assurance that the documents are genuine, reliable, and acceptable for compliance purposes. With this foundation in place, we can now turn to the methods of certification and the standards that must be observed. A suggested, non-exhaustive list of acceptable certification methods includes certification by a notary public, not a certifying officer, an apostille under the Hague Convention for the Legalization of Public Documents in signatory states, and the Embassy or Consulate of the Republic of Cyprus. The certification must clearly state that the document is a certified true copy of the original, and include the certifier's name, professional capacity, and the date of certification. Firms must ensure that these practices comply with the requirements of the AML law and the ICPAC directive. Additional resources on client due diligence are available on the ICPAC website. These include the guide Best Practices for AML CFT Compliance, which provides an extensive list of due diligence measures a firm may undertake, and the Guidance on KYC Documents, which sets out a non-exhaustive list of documents to be collected by ICPAC members across various jurisdictions. The guidance also offers links to useful resources such as official registrars of companies, beneficial ownership registers, BORIS, for all EU member states, the Public Register of Authentic Identity and Travel Documents Online, PRODO, consolidated sanctions lists, most wanted lists, high-risk jurisdiction watch lists, and information on electronic evidence. Both documents can be found on the ICPAC website under the Monitoring and Compliance tab within the section Compliance Guides. In addition, ICPAC's Monitoring and Compliance team has compiled a set of frequently asked questions, which can also be accessed under the Monitoring and Compliance tab within the section FAQ. Part 3 will cover the identification and verification other legal arrangements. I hope you found this useful. For any queries you may contact us at compliance@icpac.org.cy. Thank you and goodbye.